What's up, heroes? Your Rictator is back, and happy Mardi Gras event, or happy post Mardi Gras now. Today we have a big update that was released for Overwatch. We had, I believe, patch 1.45 releasing towards the PTR, and also we had the experimental modes drop for us to be able to experience that old Papa Cap's been wanting us to give a try. And in my opinion, they're a very welcomed addition to Overwatch. The new gameplay tweaks, I do feel, fit very snugly into Blizzard's new design philosophy for Overwatch, with the aim of trying to keep things fresh through regular updates. They also state that, they're implementing a more frequent and impactful balance updates with these, which means they're trying to change the meta, which I'm fine with. But I also feel that within some of these tests of quote unquote, with the experimental modes, the new abilities that are being given to some of the heroes, I feel could be something that we're going to see in Overwatch 2 as far as the story modes unfold. So pretty interesting. We could see some very interesting things in the weeks to come as well. But that's just my 2 cents. That I feel that they could be using these experimental modes with the updated moves lists or abilities. It's almost like a beta. But anyways, the experimental mode did launch as a large Overwatch update, which also included the Ash Mardi Gras challenge, where players can earn wins with experimental mode or any other event at that point. They can go towards the number required to unlock the epic skin for Ash, and it looks so good. Now, let's get into it. Last month, Blizzard announced plans to make Overwatch a bit more experimental through limited time modes that may or may not eventually become permanent fixtures of the hero shooter. Today sees the announcement of the first such experimental card, and it puts a major focus on the game's damage dealing characters. So the patch brought its first two, or I guess brought first, it's called the triple damage. It's the new one. It changes default team composition to 3 damage heroes, 2 supports, and a solo tank instead of the 2-2-2. Kaplan claims, there are changes they're unsure of and gameplay ideas they want to see how players respond to. They think that triple damage could be a huge mistake, or it could be a lot of fun. Depending on how things work out, it could become an official part. So this could be something tossed into, arcade mode at that point. If nothing, it also could be fun just for tracer mains. Now, DPS, of course, isn't the only thing that got some changes with the new experimental mode. And to be honest, it felt like Christmas for tank mains in Overwatch, since extensive changes to their favorite heroes have finally arrived, and they're so much fun. Feels to make the mode a little bit more balanced. Off tanks were given, a host of fun updates. Now the updates, of course, won't affect normal Overwatch matches at all. It's only for the experimental mode of the 3-2-1 damage, basically. Overall, though, the balance changes for triple damage gives tanks a little bit more survivability and with fewer cooldowns and abilities, or some of them have been sped up a little bit. I know Reinhardt turned into a tank, literally, and it's a blast. Now, off tanks, especially Roadhog and Zarya, have been given the most extensive changes to allow them a little bit more freedom to operate as a solo tank, which is pretty fun. But to be honest, the experimental 3-2-1 has shown some wild and fun hero abilities that we could see, like I mentioned before, in future hero or story missions in Overwatch 2. The mode itself, I feel, could go into an arcade rotation literally today if it wanted to, and I think it would be a great addition for that. More time in a competitive setting, would be a little bit better determined if it could go live as a new meta, which I think would still be very fun and interesting to see. But it could bring some, very fun hero combos too. Is for what we could see. Now, the updates that happen to the heroes themselves and the tanks, I want to go over that for you guys real quick. I know that's what y'all are probably wanting to know. So off tanks, first off, we'll start with D.Va. They adjusted armor health. Her health total is still 600, but her armor health is now increased to 400 from 200. And her base health, though, is decreased from 400 to 200. The defense matrix duration has been increased from 2 seconds to 4. And primary fire movement penalty has been reduced from 50% to 30%. So your tank's already moving faster, which you'll notice that when you give it a try. These changes, of course, make Diva a little bit more able to absorb incoming damage and ultimates with her defense matrix. She's still a very mobile hero thanks to the reduction movement penalty while she shoots. The armor to health ratio adjustment is something players will notice in many experimental mode tank changes. While it doesn't affect the full health of any hero, it now changes armor depleted and renewed as the game goes on. Roadhog is the next one, and Roadhog basically is a one-man wrecking crew now. Take a breather now leaves behind a cloud when used. The cloud heals all allies within it for 25 health per second and also provides a 25% damage reduction. Chain hook cooldown has also been reduced from 8 seconds to 6 seconds, so watch out for that. Scrap gun, primary fire, the damage per pellet has been reduced from 6 to 5, but that means that 150 damage per shot goes down to 125. But your abilities are coming back faster and you're doing an AoE heal effect. Whole hog ultimate, the cost for it also increased by 15%. So some changes there, but he's a one-man wrecking crew at times, but now he's a one-man tanking machine. His primary fire and ultimate received a very substantial nerf, but he's now able to, like I said, heal allies and reduce their chance of dying from incoming damage. The new ability with that combined with his hook cooldown mean that you're going to be able to prioritize movement than anything else. It's actually really fun to play as him. Now, the big one a lot of people freaked out with, and you should be terrified of if you get a good one out there, Zarya. Shield health has been increased from 200 to 300, and her total health is now 500. Energy gain per barrier has been decreased from 40 to 30. The particle cannon's primary fire maximum damage has been reduced, and then the secondary fire has been reduced as well, I believe from 95 to 80. The particle barrier has been decreased from 10 seconds to 8 seconds, and particle barrier now creates barriers on all allies within 8 meters. So that means group barrier. So all allies within 8 meters of doing the particle barrier, or allied particle barrier, I should say, which is crazy. And the duration is increased from 2 seconds to 3 seconds. So that means you could have a full squad with barrier for 3 seconds, run them through an area. Basically, Zarya can now bubble an entire team at once, and to be honest, we should be terrified. Most of her changes are minimal, with minor damage reduction and cooldown adjustments, but the biggest alteration is in her allied particle barrier, which, like I mentioned before, creates a barrier on all allies near a target instead of protecting just the one that she's focusing on. This allows her to protect her entire team and farm energy a lot easier, so pretty interesting what they did with her and Roadhog. I think those are the biggest changes for this mode. Now for main tanks, Orisa will be the one we'll start with. Protective barrier has been reduced from 10 seconds to 8, and then barrier health has been increased to 900. Orisa's changes, a little bit more reversions of balance changes she's experienced from the live servers, but the experimental mode changes make her a little bit stronger as a main tank and allow her to do better to protect teams with her barrier shield. She's probably the least amount that's been changed. Reinhardt, my man. Adjusted armor to health ratio. So basically his total health is still 500. His armor health has been increased from 200 to 300, and his base health has been decreased from 300 to 200. But his primary damage has been increased from 75 to 90, so he literally can 1 or 2 shot some heroes. And barrier field regeneration rate has been increased from 200 to 250 per second, so he's able to pop that shield a little bit faster now. Reinhardt, of course, manages well as a solo tank. He always has, but in the days before role queue, he was the go-to choice to protect entire teams. These minor changes give him a little bit more armor to work and make him a little bit more able to deal damage along with his team, but he's fast. A lot faster going through here in this example. It's still very fun though. Now the next one I do want to go over is Sigma, and then Winston will be the last one. Sigma, his experimental barrier regeneration was increased from 120 to 200, and then experimental barrier health was increased from 900 to 1200. But much like Orisa, Sigma's changes are very much just reversions of prior balance updates on the live servers. His barrier gets a huge bump in health. and helps regenerate a little bit higher. But Sigma, not much has changed. Now Winston, he's a fun one. Our favorite grade 8. Armor health pool has been increased from 100 to 200. So Winston's health is now 600 total. Barrier projector cooldown reduced from 13 to 10 seconds. So our favorite grade 8 scientist gets a minor health improvement, making him harder to take down, you know, when he's acting as a solo take. But the big reduction in the cooldown of the bubble, you can use it a lot more often to help protect teammates or get into the back line and just kind of wreak havoc at that point. But long story short, or I guess just in short, big damage, fun tanks, and heals got to stay mobile in this mode. If you weren't a fan of tanks before, to be honest, I feel like you should really enjoy this. I personally love the changes, depending on the success of this. You know, I'm very intrigued to see what other modes that the dev team may try out as well. I feel that this is very fresh and very fun, in a welcomed addition. And like I said, this could go in arcade right now as a rotation, and I wouldn't bat an eye. I think it's very fun. But anyways, that will do it today. I do appreciate you watching. If you've enjoyed the video and want to support the channel, I only ask that you subscribe to the channel and drop a like below. It means the world to me and helps me in many ways, and also lets me know what you guys want to see more of. Also, if you ever want to hang out, feel free to follow me on Twitch at twitch.tv/the_Rictator. I stream Monday through Thursday, 9:30 p.m. Central. Let me know your thoughts down in the experimental mode in the comments below. Do you hate it? Do you love it? You here for the skins? Just let me know. But anyways, my name is Rick. Thank you all again for watching. I hope you enjoyed today's video, and I'll see you next time.